back to another episode of Colourful Conversations with Akshi and myself, Jas. And today we have an artist all the way from Australia. She is a watercolor artist. Her name is Rashmi, and we're going to speak to her now about her art journey. So here she is.
Hello again. First things first, this is a great initiative that both of you have started in a world where there's YouTube and there's lots of how-tos in the YouTube. Like everyone actually goes into YouTube to see how to do this. This is a very different kind of a show. So well done on coming up with such a good idea. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Rashmi, we're going to get straight into it. I know it's late for you there. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Sure. All right. So to all the lovely viewers who see Colourful Conversations with Jas and Akshita, my name is Rashmi. I'm a watercolor artist based in Melbourne, Australia. I paint a lot of florals and landscapes, but if you really have to know what I do in the day, I am an IT business analyst. So it's a great job, but it's a sitting job and there's not too much, it's just code. So this is my passion, this is my hobby. And my other hobbies are gardening, which you don't see much of, but there is a page where I do share my artwork. So that's Watercolor Libran. And that is how I came to know Jas and Akshita through the artist community. I saw their work, I connected with them, and that's how I know them. So welcome all. I hope you guys enjoyed this chat.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That was an amazing introduction. And my first question to you, Rashmi, is what is your most important artist tool?
My most important artist tool is the right inspiration, I would say. Given that I paint a lot of florals and a lot of landscapes, for me, going out and looking at nature to gather ideas is the most important aspect of any art form, or at least the art form that I follow. So if there is anyone out there who's in creative arts just like us, painting and drawing and sketching, and they just need to find places where they can find inspiration. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that you have to step out to find that inspiration. You might actually find it in your house. People might like to sketch their kettle, which is right on their kitchen benchtop, or they might like to sketch their really dirty sneakers, for all you know. So it's just that what looks beautiful to your eyes, and what inspires you, what makes you pick up that pencil or that pen, to do that artwork. Yeah. So I would say inspiration is very important. Yeah.
Inspiration is your tool. That's great. Yeah. Next question to you, Rashmi, is what was the strongest influence you had when you were growing up? Was it like movies, a cartoon character, music, your family?
Surprisingly, I think the influence that I had, or at least the reason why I gravitated towards art, was my maternal grandmother. She was a very good artist, but of course, during her times, art wasn't that well established. So it was just a pack of colored pencils, or maybe just a simple pencil and a sheet of paper that they had. And she had these beautiful paintings. And I kind of think that my genes come from her. So for me, my influence was basically looking at her do those drawings. And I was like, maybe I can do it. I can try. So I tried. Of course, I was not very good at it at the beginning. But I got all the praise from her, like, how grandmothers are. Like, you even draw one crooked line, they're like, oh my God, it is just so beautiful. You're the world's best artist. So yeah, that's my influence, I would say. My grandmother, definitely my grandmother. Yeah, that was a positive influence on me.
The third question is, complete the sentence.
Yeah.
I would never draw ...
I would never draw. I don't know. I really don't know. Because the thing is, I would draw everything. And after I finish drawing it, I'll realize that I actually don't like it. So when I actually start drawing it, I start in the most positive spirit. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try drawing it. And then I realized that I actually don't like it. So until I actually started, I don't know what is it that I would never draw.
Nice.
That's positive.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that you do workshops.
Yes, I do.
And I want to know, how did you go about starting your workshops, and what knowledge and skills do you share in your workshops?
Yeah, sure. So I did not start workshops as soon as I landed here in Melbourne. Of course, I was just painting and I was keeping to myself. But then I did come across a flyer in one of the art shops that I frequent, and they said, there's workshops that happen over the weekend, and you could just teach them how to paint a simple painting. It doesn't have to be anything complex. So I thought, why not try? I've been doing this for a while, and just from experience, I knew that I was confident enough to tell someone else that this is how you paint. These are the mistakes you could do, because I've done them as well. I know what those are. And I approached a few workshop areas, cafes and boutiques in Melbourne, who rent out space for artists. So that kind of makes it easy for me, because I don't have to look after the admin work. They look after the admin work, they look after the ticketing work and everything. And I just need to go in there with my supplies and make sure that everyone has a good afternoon or a good morning, a good 3-hour session. And as to what I teach them, I make sure that I choose subjects that are not too difficult. Like florals is a great example when you look at that, because sometimes what you see is petals don't have a definitive shape. Like there are some flowers, like sunflowers and all that have a definitive shape. But most of the flowers in nature, if you have a look at them, it's just bunched together. It's multiple flowers and, close-knit flowers and all that. So it's an easy topic for them to learn. And they feel really accomplished when they go out, having a picture that they've painted, which looks very close to a flower. Like, I think that's the main thing that people usually have. Like when they paint, they feel that the subject actually doesn't look like the subject. So this is a great one to pick. Like florals are always a winner. So that's what I teach them. We go through a little bit of the exercises, as we always do, brush control exercises. But what I found particularly is they find it very difficult with leaves. And that's when I realized that maybe it is practice and talent together that artists have, that they're able to do it. Because when they see other artists do it, without much effort, they're like, oh, how do you do the leaves so neat? It's so clean. It's so beautiful. And I'm like, no, it's the simplest form of, painting. You should be knowing it. And then I realized maybe it is not that easy as it looks. So so they do a little bit of the brush control exercises, a little bit of color mixing. You really don't want to, put a lot of knowledge on their head at that time, because they come in and it's already new to them. The entire workshop is new to them. I mean, they're all first timers. Most of them are first timers. So they don't want to get caught with theory. They're like, oh, color mixing, what do you mean? Oh, browns and grays. I don't want to know all that. I just want a bright picture. You advertise, there's a bright picture. Just teach me how to paint it. That's all they want to do. So it's not too theory heavy. Like I don't want to teach them everything. But the basics are they can always go back home and they're not afraid to pick up the paintbrush. That's the main point.
That's quite interesting, because as an artist myself, I find flowers very difficult. I don't mind the leaves, but I struggle with flowers. I don't know why. And the most important thing is you have to practice, because practice.
You're absolutely right, Jas. Practice makes all the difference.
That is something like, you have to keep on reassuring the participants or the person who comes to learn from you that it is not something that we also got in the first go. It is something that we have been practicing, and that's why even we are confident to teach you.
Exactly.
It's not something that came overnight to us. Oh, today I can get up and teach somebody. No, I have practiced it. I'm confident with my stroke or with my pens and my paints.
Exactly.
And amount of color to take, amount of water to take. I'm confident today to teach you that. To impart that knowledge to you.
What you're saying is absolutely right. And I think that is where some of the workshop participants kind of get a little disappointed when they don't get the actual picture. They're like, oh, it looks a little different, but just a little bit of reassurance, as you're saying, it's not an overnight trick. It's not an overnight trick.
No, you're so right there. Okay, my last question to you, Rashmi, is, do you ever feel the need to shout regarding art?
So when you say shout, as in shout out of just despair that it's just not going right, or
I don't know, you tell me. Do you ever feel the need to like get it out?
No. I think for me, it's not about shouting. I wouldn't shout that, oh my God, this thing is ruined, or I'm just so really annoyed with how it's going. No, it's just an art block. And then I would be away from Instagram, I would be away from the papers. I would not pick up the drawer for a couple of days, and that's it. And I feel okay about it. There was a time in between when I was like, oh no, maybe I should be painting. I should be spending time trying not to be blocked. I shouldn't have the art block. And then I was like, nah, it is part of the process. If I don't feel like painting, I am not painting.
Correct.
That's it. Yeah. But there is no shout out. There is no, yeah, there's definitely no shout. Yeah.
Wow, that means you're a very calm person, which is great.
Yeah, I am calm. I did try mandala once and I achieved completing the mandala, which is a great thing for me because I didn't know whether I had the patience or not, because mandala requires just tons and tons of patience. I am really in awe with how Akshita does it with all those beautiful mandala artworks. I have no idea how she does it. So those, Akshita and all the other mandala artists who actually do it, kudos to you. You guys have tons of patience. I'm really impressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did one and I was happy with it. Once I finished it, I was like, okay, fine. You're not that bad, Rashmi. You have an ounce of patience in you. So that's all good. Yeah.
Like I believe in when I see Jas doing her, let's take an example of her doing her dot painting, dot art.
Oh, yes.
I don't have that patience to do that. Like
exactly, the bottle.
Yes, her bottle painting, her bottle art. And I'm like, that is where like I keep like every person, it's like each to its own. They find their patience, their love, and that want to have patience with that art form when they know what art form they like or they love to do or they find happiness in doing. Like,
exactly.
Like when I'm finished with my art, it's not like how it looks good or no. It's about the fact that I like doing it.
To complete it. Yeah.
I have not forced myself to do it.
Very true. Very true.
I completely understand when someone says, you need a lot of patience to do mandala, but it's like I can pull out something in one hour because I like to do it.
I'm doubly impressed. I'm doubly impressed.
Yes, if I don't like it, I don't think I'll pick up my pen to even do it. I'll be like, dude, just let go, like forget it.
Yeah. So I guess there is this element of passion for the work that you're doing. Like you're really passionate about it and you're really passionate to teach it to others, not just do it for yourself.
Mandala, the only reason that I think I continue doing it is, as I even keep saying it in my workshops, that I found myself to become a little more calmer. Because of that, I have learned the knack of listening. I was never a good listener, I'll be very honest. I have learned, like that knack of listening has come in me. I have been more patient. I am ready to, hear you out with your solutions, your say or take on something. I was never that kind of person. I was very impatient. I was very restless. I'll be like, dude, just get done. What are you waiting for? So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I continue to do mandala is because I know that's keeping me level-minded, like, balanced and, calm at peace.
So Rashmi, those are all the questions from me. I'm going to pass you over to my lovely Akshita, and she's going to ask you some questions.
All right.
So we're going to play a tiny game with you, which is Name It For Us. So I'm going to ask you a question and immediately what word, say, comes to your mind. So your first question is your favorite art form.
Watercolors.
Your favorite artist.
Too many to name.
Your favorite brush brand. One.
Silver brush.
Your favorite color.
The rose of ultramarine.
Your inspiration.
Nature.
And your favorite flower.
Lavender. Lavender stalks. Yeah.
Yay!
I did it too well.
Yes.
I was super fast.
You did really well. Thank you so much, Rashmi, for joining us today on our Colourful Conversations with Akshi and myself. We were so happy to have you and learn a few things from you. And I hope our viewers have found some knowledge and inspiration from yourself. Do check out all the links. We're going to link everything down below in our description box. Everyone's Instagram pages and handles, and please do like, share and subscribe to our channels. We would be so happy to hear from you. And again, I just want to say thank you to Rashmi and Akshita, and we'll see you in our next video. Until then, goodbye for now.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rashmi. Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Thank you for having me. It was good chatting with you guys, and I shall meet you later. Bye.
Bye.